Hi, this is Red Ibis Coach, and I only have 5 minutes. So, what I want to talk about is psychological safety. And what I want to tell you is that leadership does not own psychological safety. You cannot, in this current economy, in this current work environment where no one feels like their job is safe and people keep getting laid off, and that's all we see in the headlines, you cannot say that there is psychological safety. You will not be cultivating it anytime soon. And I can guarantee you, whatever you're doing in your company is not enough. And how do I know that? Because people talk to me. And so, if psychological safety isn't possible, what is possible? Compassion, empathy, acknowledging the situation to start. Nobody's even like, hey, I know things are really tough, and I want you to know that I will do everything in my power to make sure that you have the best experience you can considering the circumstances. People aren't even doing that. We're not even talking about it in companies. So psychological safety is like a comfy word that makes it so that leaders can sleep at night. No one else is sleeping. So instead of talking about psychological safety, because that's dead right now, rest in peace, talk to people like you actually are in touch with what's happening. Talk to people like you actually understand how stressful it is to not get a raise when inflation is crazy, to not have any acknowledgement of the fact that the cost of commuting has doubled or tripled for people overnight. Instead of talking about psychological safety, which makes you feel better, but not them, because they're performing for you so that you leave them alone. They don't feel safe. They're not going to feel safe. Safety is an illusion right now. But relationships and connection are not. So if you're serious about people's psychological well-being, which is different than this idea that psychological safety is possible, because it isn't, if we acknowledge that and focus on psychological well-being, that requires you to accept that we have created an environment where people are not able to be psychologically safe. Step one. Step two, acknowledge that situation out loud to people. Have difficult conversations. If you're still having a one on one that's like, tell me what you did, let's check it off. What are you working on? How are you feeling? That's not enough. People aren't going to tell you how they're feeling. You have to lead with, I know what's going on. Every week, I'm going to acknowledge this. Every week, I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing in the company. Every week, I'm going to be honest with you about what's happening and what we have control over on our team, what we have control over in our department. That is how you start to have some semblance of continuity, of empathy, of acknowledgement of the reality of what's happening for people. We're in a fucking war. We're in a war and no one's talking about it. People were murdered by ICE and nobody's talked about it in the next fucking, town hall. Unless you are acknowledging people's lived experience right now and acknowledging that it's tough and not just asking them what they did on the weekend, not only are you not having psychological safety, but you sound like you are expecting people to perform wellness for you, perform not freaking out for you. So, again, I implore you, if you're a leader, even if you're a team member, you can be the one that talks to people individually, right? You can say in a meeting, one face to face, hey, things are hard right now. Acknowledge it to the team. As a leader, that's leadership. Leadership is not, well, I hope you're doing okay because I'm not going to do shit about it. I'm just going to see if you finish the project on time. That's not leadership. That's productivity. Leadership is saying, I know things are hard. Here's exactly what's hard. Is there anything I'm missing? Okay. Here's what we can do about it in our team. Here's how I can be showing up for you in a way that's a little more robust than let's make sure that we complete X, Y, and Z on time. Okay? I don't understand why this is not happening. This makes no sense. It makes no sense. Come on, people. We're in a fucking war. Gas is super expensive for people. There's a lot going on. If you don't talk about it, it seems like you are perpetuating this idea that it's okay to just pretend and perform. So, well-being is about being realistic about what's actually going on and addressing it however you can, and acknowledging the limitations of how you may or may not be able to support people. And until we do that, which is really fucking the bare minimum, there's no psychological safety, and there won't be for many years to come. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching.